The love of God is something that a lot of people in the church are still debating on. You know, a lot of people complain that there are so many evil that are happening on this planet. People are sick. We get these natural disasters. I mean, where is God in the midst of all these things? This makes a lot of people question the love of God. And funny enough, some Christians also go through situations, even though they are dedicated to God, they still go through certain situations and that even unbelievers do not face, certain disasters that even people who have not given their lives to Christ face. And it brings out the question on, does God really love us? If He loves us, where is He in the midst of all these situations? Yeah. Um, First of all, I want to emphatically say that God is love. He has said several times in His word that He's love. Secondly, the world that God created in the beginning, that world was not having all these issues. Out of His love, He gave us a world where it was free of all these diseases, natural disasters, whatsoever you call it. Because in the Garden of Eden, I'll always refer you there. In the Garden of Eden, it was a perfect place for mankind. It was after the fall of man that all the other things you are seeing now happens. So before we conclude that okay, God is not love and He brought us into this world, first of all, that even that narrative of He bringing us into a wicked world is not true. That's not what He did. He brought us into a world that was perfect. Okay. In addition to that, um, I think that a lot of times we blame God for things that we human beings did. Yes. For instance, I'm going to give three examples today. For instance, if you have predisposition to some of the diseases, let's take diabetes for instance, and then you decide that, okay, I'm not going to eat well, I'm not going to exercise, I'm not going to live an active life. Obviously, at a certain age, some of the diseases will pop out. Okay, it will pop out. When it pops out and you don't take your medications and you don't comply to your doctor's prescription, what is the outcome? One of the outcome is end stage renal disease. And then if you get end stage, it's expensive to treat with dialysis. And now you see, this person will start talking, oh, why did I get diabetes? Why did I ended up in this situation? I don't have money. All my money is drained. Where is God? But there was something this person could have done about the situation. God, through His wisdom and knowledge, has provided us with doctors, and these doctors every day tell us the things we have to do. Even if there are no doctors around you, you can easily go to the internet and find out what all this is about and how to prevent it. If you don't prevent it and you get to that state, I don't think it's fair enough to blame God for that. Even though God will find a way to come through for you some way somehow, I don't think you have to blame Him for that. Okay, so there are some preventable illnesses that we can, as human beings, we can deal with. Okay, and then when it comes to natural disaster, today I'm going to use hurricane. Were we not reading the Bible when they said that a group of people actually built a tower, and that tower was rising up, it was going up into the sky, and God was even scared of it? Yeah. So where are the intellectuals? I work in the medical field. I don't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to engineering. But is there no way that engineers and bright minds can come up with something whereby, I'm just postulated, whereby a counter hydroelectric energy or hydroelectronic or whatever energy can be developed to counter and divert these hurricanes, for example? I think if we as human beings really think through, we'll be able to develop solutions to some of these problems. Even if it's not like we won't be able to stop um, the development, we can find ways to divert it, we can find ways to, I mean, go around it. We'll wait. Then when the thing hits and people start dying and we'll all be crying, then emergency will be sent and all that. Some of these things are preventable, and people will be somewhere still blaming God for these things when He has given us all the wisdom, when He has provided all the knowledge that if we put one and two together, we'll be able to develop solution. Yes, I like thinking outside the box. You can name it however you want it, but we as human beings have the potential to be able to develop solutions to this problem and stop blaming God for that. The last thing I want to talk about is, let's take a child who ends up drowning in a pool. Let's say that this couple have just one child. They I mean, it took a while after marriage for them to be able to conceive, and they get this one child. And when the child was trying to walk and all that, one day they just went to the pool and saw the child in the pool. Are we going to blame God for this situation too? I know the pain is a lot. I understand what it means to feel a lot of pain in your heart, okay? But as people, first of all, the child was, I'm not blaming you, but sometimes you have to face the truth. You kept the child, you didn't supervise the child without, I mean, he's just a child, move towards the pool. That's one thing. Couldn't we have also the people that develop pools in households and all that? Is there no way? I'm just thinking, and I always think outside the box. Is there no way we could have developed something, a preventable fence around pools? Can't we do that? And every time we wait for some of these things to happen, and now people will be like, oh, his only child, he just drowned. And the blame goes on God. These are just few examples. There are so many things around us that we end up blaming God for, that we human beings could have taken responsibility. So now, any situation you are facing in your life, I just want you to ask yourself, am I really playing my role? Is there something I can't do about this situation? Is everything on God? I know he is all powerful and he can come through for us and all that, but we need to go out of the babyhood state where everything we run to God. This is a time for people to rise as sons of God. You need to find solutions before we start bothering God. I know he's not bothered, but me, I'm bothered for him. Okay. So today, the things that makes us question the love of God, I feel that most of it, we are not using, sorry to say, our brains. We are not finding solution to it, and we are just blaming God. Secondly, I know that there are also times whereby you can do everything right. I know we can't always be perfect. There are times where you can do everything right, and maybe things will not work out for you. Yeah, there's a state of wilderness. It's called sometimes it's called a state of wilderness where you can do everything right and it wouldn't work out for you. That's, to a believer, I believe, it's a training process, and God will eventually come out of it. Other than that, it may be due to a certain lack of knowledge, because Bible says that lack of knowledge my people perish. So some of the situations where we can't find solution to is because you don't have the light, you don't have the understanding of what that solution is. And that one too, the Bible has been given to us a lot of people in the world. God has brought us gifts, the gifts of the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, all the people, the teachers, the pastors. God has given us all these people over generations. A lot of knowledge is available. So if there is a situation in your life that is not working, to me, either probably you are in wilderness, or you don't have the light and knowledge. And you don't expect anyone to go and find that light and knowledge for you when you have the Bible, when you have access to information and you don't use it. So please, yes, let's analyze ourselves in situations, and let's do our part. Then when everything we are supposed to do, we've done it and it's still not working, we can easily be like, okay, God, what was this? Tell us. And I believe he will speak. He will do something about it. So that I'll end it today. God bless you. Take care.